Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Blue Bounty Hunter channel. So remember when Vader said he'd save his wife with the dark side? Well, we all know how that turned out, but what if I told you he got a second chance while exploring the castle on Mustafar that we would later see in Rogue One? So today I'll be explaining the 4th volume of the 2017 Vader comic run titled Fortress Vader, going over all the crazy moments like when Vader's spirit left his body and he killed all the Jedi with ease. In the first comic of the volume, Darth Vader and the Inquisitors confront the Jedi Master Eth Koth, whose daughter was just born moments earlier. Vader fights and kills Koth, while the Inquisitors track down the surely Force-sensitive child and take it back to Vader, and they then give the baby off to the nursemaids at the works. Then, the Grand Inquisitor and Vader discuss surviving Jedi like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Oppo Rancisis and how they should continue Project Harvester, which Darth Vader thinks about while taking a bath and then dueling a training droid. In the next comic, that being 20 out of 25, Vader fights and kills 2 of the Inquisitors who had helped on the previous mission to kill the Jedi. The Sith had reason to believe that the 13th sister was traitorous and she was corrupting the other, so after stabbing their own 2 blades between each other, Vader reports to Palpatine, who is angry at Vader for the destruction on Coruscant his pursuit of the Inquisitors caused.
I have brought peace, justice, and security to my new empire.
The Emperor realizes Vader needs his own planet to hone his rage, so he offers Naboo or Tatooine, but Vader refuses and instead suggests Mustafar. And I mean, I get he's a Sith and all, so he has to go somewhere that causes pain, but did he really have to pick Mustafar, man? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's the best planet in Star Wars. I just feel like the air conditioning bills will be pretty high in that place. But Sidious also gifts Vader the Mask of Momin, who was an unusual Sith that preferred to create life. And he tells Vader that the mask told him Momin's story and that he should take it to Mustafar with him. But Darth Vader also believes that Mustafar has a locus that has deep connections to the dark side of the Force, which Palpatine sees as an opportunity for Vader to possibly revive Padme and also become a perfect Sith. Meanwhile, Colonel Bryn will accompany Vader to design his fortress, and when they arrive, another Imperial with them is possessed by the mask and shoots Bryn, but not before designing their own version of Vader's castle. And after bringing the helmet to a dark side shrine, Vader adorns it and the mask identifies itself as Darth Momin before he recalls his story of being an artistic child, being recruited under Lady Shaw, and later trying to create a shrine to the dark side using the Force to make a planet constantly destroying itself. Also, Darth Momin tells Vader that Mustafar wasn't a lava planet once, so I'm not exactly sure if this is referring to Mustafar being kind of like a planet with plants and trees being green. I'm not exactly sure, but you'd have to look into that more. Darth Vader, however, throws the mask away, discarding it, but after giving the mask a new host of an ambushed Mustafarian and returning to a cave nearby, Darth Momin tells Vader that his fortress will be the key to the dark side by turning the energies of the Locust to pierce the veil of time and see Padme again. Vader threatens Lord Momin not to lie, and they then continue on. I'll briefly cover the next few pieces of the comic, that being 23 through 24, before spending the remainder of the video on 25, the last issue, where the real fun begins.
This is where
Darth Momin and Vader make many designs for the castle, and with the 5th version, the two attempt to open the door to the dark side, which causes the ground to shake and another endfire storm to start, which in turn makes the Mustafarian use his own Force powers to hold off the door. Then he arranges for the clans of Mustafar to destroy the operations of Vader. Later, by the 9th design, the 2 Sith have a working portal, and as Vader is ready to step through, he is alerted that the fleas and Mustafarians that have been attacking the base regularly are now all converging on it, and before they even can retreat, he is distracted by Darth Momin, who betrays Vader by opening the door himself, which gives him back his physical form. He then tells Vader that he is his own masterpiece while retrieving his mask from the former host. After being blasted from the meditation chamber where the door was, Vader is thrown away with Force energy. Then he has a huge epic battle with the Mustafarians that would better suit a separate video. That is, unless you want me to spend another 3 minutes talking about fleas, yes, fleas, and how Vader survives that and lava. I mean, come on, that's nothing new for him at this point. Then Vader duels with Lord Momin, killing him by crushing him under a huge panel and breaking the ancient Sith's neck. Afterwards, he opens the door himself, which supposedly leads to Padme, creating a massive energy burst. Moving into Vader 25, as he's walking through the door, he has an out-of-body experience as Vader's spirit disconnects and goes into a spiritual wasteland. In here, he encounters his pregnant mother Shmi and also Palpatine, who it is implied has meddled with the conceiving through the Force, all of which are a part of Force visions Vader is now facing. He then goes into a childhood dream of Anakin Skywalker, in which he is haunted by the shadow of Vader trying to grab him. Then the boy wakes up from the dream and Shmi lets him know that it's just that, a dream. And in this spiritual version of Vader, as we can see, is kind of scarred and dark in the middle to kind of symbolize the part of Vader that remains. Then the rest of him is kind of blue and light, almost suggesting that his true form is kind of like a Force ghost of Anakin Skywalker, which is beyond him at this point. As Vader is walking down the spiritual plane, he comes across doorways into his past, like from his childhood, pod racing, building C-3PO, and meeting Padme, and also later memories like Obi-Wan, Palpatine, and Ahsoka. Above all else, he sees his romance with Padme, who has been on his mind for most of this story. And in the future, as is the case with Anakin and Vader, he is shown his future duel with Ahsoka on Malachor and Rebels, and next up, he comes across the Jedi Temple in this land within and around his spirit, which shows him many different Jedi that he kills with 2 lightsabers, like Mace Windu, Plo Koon, Yoda, Eth Koth, Ural Poof, and even more than that. And when Vader goes into the temple, he finds Obi-Wan and Sidious fighting. The Emperor in this vision kills Obi-Wan, but Dark Dimension Vader responds by destroying the Elder Sith with Force lightning. So we can see that while he hated Obi-Wan, he also had some hate for Sidious as well in the back of his mind. And then changing into Anakin, he walks up to a balcony with Padme on it, where he tells her that they have to go. She repeats Anakin's line as a child, asking if he's an angel, and then informing Anakin that they are the most beautiful creatures in the galaxy. Then when Anakin again insists that they have to go, Padme says that Anakin can't know her because he is dead. Then she falls to her death off the balcony, being torn apart by dark side Force energy. After this traumatic experience, Vader looks around at the bodies surrounding the temple and he screams in rage and grief. But then at the last second, he experiences a vision of a figure approaching who, as it turns out, will later be his son, Luke Skywalker. But then, after being hit with a wave of Force energy, Vader wakes up at the base of the door. Then he force pulls his lightsaber to him and plunges it into the mound, which causes dark side lightning all over the Mustafar landscape, surely making the Mustafarians even more mad than they were before at Vader. So yeah, basically, after Lord Momin tried to kind of go into the past with his mask and everything, Vader would end up killing him, and then he would go there himself, which turned out to just be all these visions and stuff. But he did actually go up to Padme, and that's, about as close as he's gonna get, it seems. After all this, Darth Vader contacts Sidious, who is pleased that Vader has survived his test, as he was considering getting a new Sith apprentice to replace the weakness of Vader. Then Palpatine asks Vader if he found the truth he was looking for, and Vader responds by turning off the holo projector because, let's be honest, if he didn't come back with Padme or something like that, he wasn't going to be too happy in the first place. Now, there are actually a few other times that Vader kind of interacts with Padme in this sort of time period after Revenge of the Sith, when we, really haven't explored it too much other than in the comics and all that good stuff. But one of those examples is in the game Vader Immortal, when there apparently is a time when you actually get to try and revive Padme until the player sort of interrupts this. Also, there is another comic from 2019 which showed Vader actually seeing Padme in the flesh, but turned out to just be a sort of phony and one of her handmaidens from earlier. And yeah, like I said, let me know if you want to see a video like this where I go over that battle with the Mustafarians and Vader. I mean, literally, he was surrounded just by all of these armies of these Mustafarians and the lava fleas and stuff, and he literally, after they send lava over the whole place, he has to use an AT-AT head to basically surf on lava. I mean, it's crazy stuff. So I do really like this comic run, and it was definitely fun to talk about it here. But anyway, that's it for this video. You can subscribe if you want to. I upload every Friday at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I also post shorts on Saturday. But yeah, see ya.